Well, hello to all of you from around the world. I want to thank you for joining us for this edition of Soulivity Today. We're broadcasting live from our studio right here in the nation's capital, Washington, D.C., and on KMET 1490 AM radio in Southern California. My name is Brian Westley Johnson, and whether you're at home driving or even at work, we're always glad you're here with us. And I'm also glad to have with me today my amazing co-host, Teresa Greco, who's a motivational speaker and happiness life coach, helping people create better lives for themselves all across the world. So glad you're with me today, Teresa.
Thank you so much. I look forward to this every Monday.
Well, we look forward to having you with us every Monday. What have you been up to? What's been going on in your world?
Well, this weekend I spent time with my husband
Hmm.
because I felt that we needed to have some quality time. But
Oh,
thank you for that. But in particular, quality time away from his phone. So we had actually, you and I had spoken about this, I think, about like maybe it was last Monday, about setting healthy boundaries between yourself and your device.
right,
And and
right.
people have phone addictions these days where they have
Oh man, yeah, they
notifications
do.
going off all the time. They have to look at it. They have to stay up to date on their feed. Like, God forbid they should miss like a video, a message, a meme, doesn't matter. So I asked my husband to give himself a bit of a detox this weekend from his
Okay.
phone, and which he was happy to comply. Then we talked about, I asked him the question, I said, okay, we've been fortunate enough to see the rise of technology and the internet
Oh
from like
yeah.
the very beginning, right? Because we
Oh yeah.
were around when there were rotary phones.
Oh
So
yeah.
if I asked him, and I want to ask you the same question, and even the audience listening to ponder on this, if you had to go back to like a time with one of the technological advances and just like freeze it there to say that we didn't have
Mm.
it go past that, which one would you say we could have stopped at? So
Oh,
I'll say the
that's a
one that I think.
okay. Go for it.
For me, it would have been the pager, where somebody could
Wow.
like
Okay.
tell you that you needed to like get in touch because there was something up and you needed to like get to a phone. Um, he said that he would stop at the like cell phone, but just the phone calling, no texting. So phone call, if you needed to make a call, at least you didn't have to go to like find a payphone and that
Right.
somewhere on the road in order to
Right.
make a
Right.
call.
Right.
And he would have stopped at that, no texting.
That's a good question. I think. I think I probably would have stopped. I mean, it maybe a little bit beyond where he was at, where it's a phone. Um, maybe no texting, but that GPS was available. Because
Oh,
I think GPS
yes.
changed the game around like driving and
Mhm,
that kind of
mhm.
thing where you don't need a map. Because remember we used to keep those big
Yes.
thick maps in the
Yeah.
car,
Yeah.
and so you could figure out where you were, where you wanted to go, and that kind of thing. And I liked GPS where if I was in not places I didn't know about, I
Yeah.
could just be like, tell me where to go here, and it was cool. But that's a great question. That's a really good question. I'm gonna ask my wife that when later on. Seriously, I'm gonna ask her. She's
Yes,
probably gonna be
because
like, phone. I need my smartphone.
no, and that's the thing. And my phone is my work, right? So now it's like I have my work in my pocket all the time, which
Right.
it does it, you just feel like you never get a break. So
Right.
then I asked him to reflect on, how does he feel the fact that he's not always being pulled in like so many directions?
Mm-hmm.
Because on his phone is, whether it's friends, whether it's work, it's always like pulling him away from the present
Right.
moment.
Right.
And
Right.
that's what it's doing. It's pulling all of us away from the present moment. And happiness
Well,
is found in the present moment.
well, I completely agree with you. And it's why we do this show every Monday, this motivational Monday, because we're trying to give people a break from everything that's happening. You can be in your car at home, you can be at work, you can take a little bit of a break and listen and kind of like rejuvenate. So, maybe we'll do a show on that. Maybe we'll dive a little
Yeah.
bit deeper into that because we talked a little bit about that last week, like the digital detox. Maybe
Mhm.
we'll do a full show on it. So thank you for that, Teresa. That's really cool, you know. And again, I'm glad you're here because
Thank
you're
you.
helping us start our work week right, which is what this show is all about today. It's about creating new beginnings and helping us get energized and that kind of thing. And so we've got some great inspiration for you today, as we bring you news and information for another Motivational Monday show. We have some great stories, including another awesome motivational moment coming on, up a little bit later in the show, Teresa. So, with that awesome start, why don't we go ahead and get started a little bit further? Um, One of the experiences that I had about a week ago was I saw a friend I hadn't seen in years. It was amazing. I mean, we just like hugged it out. And we're like, "Oh my God, I haven't seen you, bro!" And you know how dudes do. They dap each other up and that kind of thing. Have you had that kind of experience before, where you have it, where you just run into a friend that you haven't seen in a long time?
No.
No. Oh man. Well, it's coming. It's coming. You're going to be someplace unexpected and you're going to see somebody that you have not seen in years. And you're going to be like totally amazed. Well, our first story comes from Dallas, Texas, here in the United States, where two former nightclub colleagues, Danny Blayton, who's 51, and John Johnson, who's 60, reconnected after more than 2 decades apart. This was thanks to, in part, due a chance encounter during an Uber ride. Their surprise reunion has since captured the hearts of millions, becoming an internet sensation and a testament to the enduring power of friendship. Here's a bit of this beautiful encounter from the Dario AS YouTube channel.
How's it going, John?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Man, I'm great. How about yourself?
I'm good, man. Just trying to keep it warm.
Right? It's that wind chill today to get you.
Yeah, that wind gonna mess us up today.
The sun makes it seem like it's warmer than it is.
Yeah. You been busy this morning?
Yes, sir. Always on Friday. All over the place.
What's your name, man?
My name's Danny.
Man, I know you. You don't know me?
Man, hell yeah! John, what the bro? Goddamn, hell yeah, I know you.
Man, you know what?
DJ Shoes.
Yeah.
Shoes be hurting. Oh, bro, wait till I tell you.
I can't believe you remember that, man.
Hell yeah.
Man, I think I thought about you, man, about a month ago, man. I was thinking about, the old days.
Right, without a doubt.
Yeah, and shit, that what made me think about you. DJ Shoes, you the one that...
You used to get tired of me saying that.
Shit.
We was working in that club.
DJ Shoes.
Our
DJ Shoes.
feet be hurting like a mug. Shit, How you been, man?
Pretty good, man.
Man, wait till I tell Creighton I ran into you, man.
Where Creighton at, man?
He's in Oklahoma.
Okay, yeah. I thought he was back in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Just makes you smile, right?
Yeah,
Um,
it
Now, I know, it's just great. So, according to news sources, since their reunion, Blayton and Johnson have met up for drinks, reminiscing about old times and catching up on each other's lives. Um, we laughed and talked like we normally do, Johnson says. And then Blayton added, we got to talking and getting to know each other. Like, man, your life is interesting. And so they just caught up. I mean, 2 decades, they hadn't seen each other. And, my man stopped and was like, hey, I know you, DJ Shoes, so it just warms your heart, right? When you see those kind
Yeah.
of reunions.
Yeah, that's really cute. And so what happened between you and your friend when you saw your friend?
Oh, we exchanged phone numbers again.
Hmm.
And I had his number in my phone. We just lost touch. And so we're going to go out and hang out and catch up too. So, just brought back, I think when this happens, and it's going to happen with you soon, because we're talking about this is going to happen,
Yeah.
Teresa.
Okay,
Just wait,
okay,
just wait. And then you're going to be like, Brian, guess what?
okay.
It just brings back all those good memories that you had with this person. And that, like, like some of these news stories we're talking about, that friendships that are like that, they endure, and that when you see each other again, it's like time stopped, and when you reconnected, it starts up again, and so it's enduring. It really is enduring. So maybe the gift that I wanted to give everybody today is, maybe if there's some friend that you haven't talked to in a long time that brings up warm memories, reach out and see what happens. You know, um, I'm not talking about people that you might have had a falling out with or something like that. I'm talking about people you have not talked to. There's no falling out. You're just wondering how they are. Just, again, we have technology now. You can text, you can email, you can call, that kind of thing. You got social media, so just reach out and see what's going on. So yeah, that's our first story. So I think we're off to a good start, right?
Yes, it had me giggling already, so it's a good one.
Yeah, I saw you kind of smiling when my man said, "What's up, bro?" I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh man, listen, everyone, we're gonna take a short break. Just let that kind of simmer in. But we've got even more great stories coming up for a Motivational Monday, especially when we come back. We'll bring you news from Mars, where the folks at NASA are going to bring a shocking discovery, has brought a shocking discovery to all of us. So you don't want to miss this. We'll be back in just a little bit. Soulivity Today is brought to you by Happy Travelers Tours and Old Vine Wine Tours.
Ready to embark on a wine-filled adventure? Book your luxury wine tour today with Old Vine Wine Tours and experience the unparalleled beauty and flavors of Sonoma, Napa, and Lake counties. Old Vine Wine Tours offers transportation for the most amazing experiences in the Sonoma Valley, Santa Rosa, Healdsburg, and all of Sonoma County, as well as the Napa Valley and Clear Lake wineries of Lake County. From boutique tastings to bridal party transportation, we have you covered. Go to Old Vine Wine Tours /Wine in the Weeds for more information. Don't forget to mention promo code Soulivity to get 10% off either a culture or wine tour. Book your adventure today.
Hey, we're back here with more on Soulivity Today for a Motivational Monday show, where we're bringing you some inspirational stories from around the world to help you get energized and motivated for the start of the work week. And back with me is my awesome co-host, Teresa Greco. Teresa, I'm a space nut. You know that.
No, I
I've
didn't.
been, I first got hooked on space and everything since my first Apollo launch years ago. I won't say how many years ago. It's like this many years. But since October of 2023, NASA's old but still kicking Curiosity rover has been exploring Mars, which I love. I just like staying in touch with all this stuff. Last week, NASA made a startling discovery with the rover, but it was completely by accident. So I wanted to share this today because it's kind of nerdy, but it's really, really cool. We'll explain more about it on the other side. Here's more from the Space Serenade YouTube channel.
Imagine this. You're exploring a barren desert miles away from any signs of life when suddenly you stumble upon an oasis. That's the level of excitement scientists felt on May 30th when NASA's Curiosity rover revealed something unprecedented on Mars. A crack in a Martian rock exposed yellow sulfur crystals. This discovery is not just a scientific milestone, but a revelation that adds a new layer to our understanding of the red planet. Curiosity has been navigating a sulfate-rich region of Mars since October 2023. Sulfates are salts containing sulfur, typically forming as water evaporates. Historically, Mars has shown traces of sulfur-based minerals, a combination of sulfur and other materials. But this time, the rover encountered something different: elemental, pure sulfur. The pure sulfur discovery raises questions about its relationship, if any, to the sulfur-based minerals previously found in the area. Unlike the familiar foul smell of sulfur compounds like hydrogen sulfide, pure sulfur is odorless and forms under specific conditions not typically associated with this Martian region. The sight of a vast field of bright rocks composed of pure sulfur was astonishing. As Curiosity's project scientist Ashwin Vasavada of NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory put it, finding a field of stones made of pure sulfur is like finding an oasis in the desert. It shouldn't be there, so now we have to explain it. Discovering strange and unexpected things is what makes planetary exploration so exciting. This find is among several exciting discoveries made by Curiosity in the Geddes Vallis channel. This channel, a groove winding down part of the towering Mount Sharp, has been of significant interest. Each layer of Mount Sharp tells a different chapter of Martian history, and Curiosity's mission since 2014 has been to unravel these stories, specifically how and when Mars could have supported microbial life. Years before Curiosity's launch, Geddes Vallis channel was already on scientists' radar. They believed the channel was sculpted by ancient liquid water flows and debris, leaving a trail of boulders and sediments down the mountainside. Curiosity's mission has been to piece together how this landscape transformed billions of years ago. Since arriving earlier this year, the rover has been investigating whether ancient floods or landslides created the large debris mounds within the channel. The findings suggest both factors played roles. Some mounds were likely formed by intense water and debris flows, while others resulted from local landslides. The shape of the rocks offers clues. Rocks transported by water are typically rounded, like river stones, whereas many of the debris mounds contain angular rocks, indicative of dry avalanches. Water has also altered the landscape chemically, bleaching white halo shapes into some rocks. Over time, wind and sand erosion have unveiled these unique features. This was not a quiet period on Mars, remarked Becky Williams, a scientist with the Planetary Science Institute and deputy principal investigator of Curiosity's massed camera. We're looking at multiple flows down the channel, including energetic floods and boulder-rich flows. The ongoing exploration aims to tell a more intricate story of Mars's history. On June 18th, scientists got the chance to analyze a rock sample from the channel. While the sulfur rocks were too fragile for drilling, a nearby large rock dubbed Mammoth Lakes provided an opportunity. Curiosity's engineers found a suitable spot for drilling, and the rover's powerful drill bore its 41st hole into the Martian surface. The rock powder was then analyzed by the instruments inside the rover to determine its composition. Having moved on from Mammoth Lakes, Curiosity is set to uncover more secrets hidden within Geddes Vallis channel. This journey is far from over, and each discovery brings us closer to understanding Mars' enigmatic past.
Pretty cool, right? I told you I'm a nerd. I'm a cool nerd, but I'm still a nerd.
That's cute.
Yeah, I mean um I think the thing that we get from this is that we're always discovering new things. And here we are in 2024 having a vehicle still operational on Mars, giving us new information about our universe, right? And that the scientists had always suspected that Mars was really more like Earth. It's basically within the zone of life in terms of our solar system, and that something happened to disrupt it. And here's another amazing clue to that, where if I'm correct, and if people out there who are scientists or that kind of thing can correct me if I'm wrong, that sulfur can't exist without water. Like it's like one of those components that kind of distills down. And the fact that this is pure sulfur. So like sulfur that we know about here on Earth typically has a smell, like smells of like rotting eggs and that kind of thing. Well, that's because it's impure. This sulfur was pure. So what made that? How did it get purified on Mars? Was it like part of the history where something landed and that kind of thing? Or did something occur on the planet? So it's all this, that discovery brings more fascinating questions, but it also answers some questions as well. So just I wanted to share that with everyone today, because it's like you never stop learning, you never stop growing, you never stop exploring. And the Mars rover was supposed to only work for a certain amount of time, and then it was supposed to start failing, but it's just been chunking along, bringing new information. So take that with you today, in terms of try to always be a lifelong learner, and explore and do different things. I mean, Teresa, you do this all the time, where you're out in the world learning new things, and it's your natural state to continue to grow, right? Especially soon when we're going to call you Dr. Greco in a second. So
Thank
had
you.
to say that, had to put that in there. Listen, we've got even more great motivational things. In fact, you're going to love this next one, Teresa, because it's about fashion and modeling. And I know you've done some of this. People need to check out some of your modeling pictures that you've done. They're really cute. So we're going to take this quick break. And again, if you've ever wanted a career in fashion, but you thought you were too old, well, we have a story for you that will blow you away. Learn more about it next. Hello, my name is Brian Westley Johnson, and I'm the CEO and founder of Soulivity.com. And dear friends, I come to you today to ask for your support, because with your help, we have a chance to honor the heroism of those Black Americans who helped win World War I while bringing the legacy of jazz music to Europe. I'm referring to the 369th Regiment out of New York, who spent more time in continuous combat than any other American unit of its size, with 191 days in the front-line trenches of Europe. These soldiers were so fierce, the Germans named them Hollenkämpfer, or Hellfighter, and it's how this regiment became known as the Harlem Hellfighters. My men never retire. They go forward or they die, said Regiment Commander Colonel William Hayward. Indeed, the 369th was the first Allied unit to reach the Rhine River in Germany, And for acts of heroism in combat, this Black regiment fighting under French command was awarded the Croix de Guerre, and 171 individual members received this medal along with France's highest honor, the Legion of Honor. Now, the 369th Regiment distinguished themselves not only on the battlefields of Europe, but also in lifting the spirits of soldiers as the regimental band played for troops in and out of theater of battle. When their troops arrived in Brest, France in 1918, they surprised French soldiers and civilians with their rendition of Les Marseillaises. Now, Noble Sissel, who was the vocalist and songwriter in the band, noted as the band played 8 or 10 bars, there came over their faces an astonished look, quickly alert, snap it to attention and salute by every French soldier and sailor present. Now, during the war, the 369th Regimental Band, under the direction of Lieutenant James Reese Europe, became famous throughout Europe by continuing to introduce the then unknown brand of music called jazz to British, French, and other European audiences. Now we fast forward to today, where the 369th Experienced Band continues to honor the legacy of these heroes. Originally established as an official program under the United States World War I Centennial Commission, the 369th Experienced Band was created as a living memorial to the story of the 369th Regiment. The band is made up of 65 student musicians from more than 20 historically Black college and universities and other schools that today come together to honor and commemorate the service and sacrifice of the Harlem Hellfighters. As a 501c3 nonprofit organization, the 369th Experience is dedicated to developing and implementing educational and cultural programs that share the stories of these soldiers' service, sacrifice, and their legacy of spreading a love of jazz in Europe. Now, Soulivity has partnered with the 369th Experience, and we are pleased to announce that the 369th Experience Band has been invited to perform in the upcoming 2024 Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. And with your help, this performance can become an iconic American tradition that will serve as a powerful educational moment as we share the heroic story of men who fought for the rights of others while having very few of their own when they returned home. Your support is vital. We need to urgently raise necessary funds required so that we can ensure that the band will march in November. You can learn more information about how you or your business or organization can help by scanning this QRC code or by visiting 369experience.org or soulivity.com today. "100 years ago, the Harlem Hellfighters were denied the opportunity to march in the parade before they went off to war. This year, with your help, we can ensure it will be an honor no longer deferred today and for generations to come." Hey, we're back here with more on Soulivity today for our Motivational Monday show, where we are bringing you some inspirational stories from around the world to help you get energized and motivated for the start of the work week. And back with me is Teresa Greco. You know, Teresa, in recent years, and I know you know this, we've really seen how fashion has become more and more diverse and more representative of our global world. Does it matter if you're thick or thin, race, you know, a lot of those things are starting to wash away, which is a really good thing. Um, you're gonna love this story because I know you've done modeling and that kind of thing. That's another example of this change with a woman in Berkeley, California, who's breaking the age barrier in the world of style. Here's more from NBC in the Bay Area.
In the world of high fashion, the models hitting the runway tend to skew tall, thin, and, well, young. But apparently, Carolyn Doling didn't get the memo.
I am a model at the age of 77.
This was from a shoot from Seek Collective.
It's almost a miracle. It's amazing because I never had any aspirations to be a model.
This was from the Color era.
So I've been really lucky to have worked for lots of big name companies, Estee Lauder, CVS, Athleta.
Doling only found her true calling about 7 years ago, following a career in corporate marketing and customer service.
Then I retired and reinvented myself as a fashion model.
This is a designer from New York.
When I retired, realized that I was being overlooked and underestimated. People had kind of kicked me to the curb.
So, at age 70, she made it a goal to start dressing snazzier.
One day I was in a shop and the woman said, "What are your aspirations?" And I said, "Well, I'm really concerned that women my age are just kind of giving up."
The shot was really primarily about the earring.
And so she said, "Well, why don't you come on in and do some photos with us?"
This is for one of the local designers.
There was a different look, a different idea. It was not the 23-year-old size 000.
Then the phone started ringing.
Well, this is a designer, Tibby.
The modeling gigs pull her between the Bay Area and that fashion mecca, New York.
Soho.
It's really, really unusual when I'm on set for a shoot to have anyone as a model who's over 40 and certainly not over 70.
It's possible the seeds of Doling's personal revolution came from her childhood in the South.
I grew up in rural North Carolina, and our family history reads much like the Black history books. My great-grandfather was a slave. My uncles were sharecroppers. There was Jim Crow. That was the environment that I grew up in. Civil rights was such a big part of our lives.
Doling's modeling work is an extension of that fight, striking a pose for equality.
My wish is that other women will see and go, you know, I can do that too. It may not be modeling, but I've always wanted to be a writer, wanted to be a painter.
She is a ball of fire. Like, she is such an inspiration to so many women. Like, she just shows you that style and grace has no age.
This is the Athleta shoot.
I want to be on Times Square on one of those rolling marquees, and I want to do runway at New York or Paris.
On the runway of Doling's life, age is just a number. And breaking barriers is never out of style. Joe Rosado Jr.
I like to think that perhaps I'm continuing to make Black history.
NBC Bay Area News.
What'd you think?
So good. So good. She's so beautiful. She's so beautiful. But also, the way she looks at 77, there aren't a lot of older people that look like her at 77.
Right.
And
Yeah.
also, I think that you guys have an advantage that Black people and Chinese, they always look amazing. They're like, I was just telling my daughter yesterday, I said, it's not fair. How are they? There's a new movie with Eddie Murphy in it. There's brand new.
Yeah, Axel, and he looks great.
The same. I'm like, how is this possible? How is this possible? He looks the same.
We always say Black don't crack. So,
Yeah.
you know. But I also think this. I think that there is something to be said about her spirit that we could all take a lesson from, where, you know, at 70, she was like, I'm not done. I am not done. I'm not going to retire. My guess is she had retirement and that kind of thing, that she could have just retired and then wait to die. She was like, nah, I'm going to reinvent myself. And that's when she started dressing a little snazzier and, and I don't want to say more youthful. I just want to say stylish, because I think that that's a misnomer. That, I've seen many people who are older than me who dress fine as wine. And here's someone who went out and got noticed and, started a modeling career and has been doing that for 7 years. So she's 77 now and still doing it. And it means that it's more inclusive, right? I mean, there needs to be pictures of people, of women and men of her age that are wearing fashionable clothes, so that they can know that it's okay for them to still be fashionable at that age. I mean, my mother is still wearing, fine clothing and doing great things. And there's other people who I know who are of that age that are still enjoying fashion. And having a good life. And then she said too about writing a book and all this kind of thing. It's like, again, this curiosity of what's possible. I think that's what she embodies. And I think it keeps you young. So, you're never too old. As I always say, you're never too old. So I thought you would get a kick out of that, Teresa. Miss Carolyn doing it up.
Isn't the saying you're only as old as you feel, something like that?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So as long as you feel young, you feel youthful, you feel healthy, you feel energetic, like I feel like she embodied all of that, right? She was so youthful and energetic. She looked great. She looked healthy. So when you have the age is just a number. You have to just remind yourself of that every time you have a big birthday, and how and how blessed we are to be here. Like every year that we're still here, because not everybody has that blessing and that luxury to still be alive. So I think that she really embodies that idea of just age is just a number, and keep pushing forward and doing all that you can in this very precious and limited time that we're here on this planet.
Oh man, thank you for that. That's a beautiful way to end this segment. Well, thank you. Listen, everybody, we're going to take a short break. We still got more coming, including an amazing motivational Monday moment coming up. This one is not to be missed. So stay right there.
Six years ago, when I started Soulivity, my vision was to support everyone in improving their life through the discovery of their passion and purpose, so they could become the best version of themselves, to battle fear and ignorance, and create a better world today. Get inspired to live your passion and purpose. Visit Soulivity.com now.
Hey, we're back with more here on Soulivity today for a Motivational Monday show, where we are bringing you some inspirational stories from around the world to help you get energized and motivated for the start of the week. And back with me again is Teresa Greco. Teresa, I have a fantastic motivational moment for all of us. And it's something that can always be repeated over and over and over and over again. And that is how to be consciously aware. How to always be aware, like being aware, being fully aware. Sometimes we call it, be the opposite of sleepwalking in your life, kind of knowing what direction you want to go in, what you want to manifest, how you're feeling, and all this. And I picked the perfect person to share his thoughts on the subject, and that's best-selling author and physician Deepak Chopra. Here's more from Goldcast, the Goldcast YouTube channel.
65% of your genes are the same as a banana. About 70% of your genes are the same as a fruit fly. 80% of your genes are the same as a mouse. And almost 99% of the genes that you have right now in your body are the same as a monkey. If you take this journey to self-awareness, if you take the journey to conscious awareness of every experience, sensory experience, experience of your body, experience of what's happening inside your body, experience of relationship, experience of the ecosystem and its connection to you, you will find out the truth. You are the universe looking at itself. And where did these elements come from? These elements were made in the crucible of burning stars. As supernova exhausted their thermonuclear energy and burnt themselves up into the heat death of absolute zero. So who are you? You're a stardust being that is wondering at this moment how you came to be. And then life starts, hopefully, with love and joy and attention and affection and appreciation. All I wanted to impress upon you is the wonder of you. Seeing that beauty compels us, literally, obligates us to live for a cause that is bigger than ourselves. Today we know for sure that when you experience love and compassion and empathy and joy and equanimity, not only do you heal yourself, but you heal others, not by what you say, not by what you do, but by your very presence. Because presence is who we are. So people ask me, what does it mean to be spiritual? And the answer is astonished. If you're not bewildered or astonished by your existence, you've taken everything for granted. But if you are astonished and bewildered, and when you're totally astonished, you'll also be grateful. And when you're grateful, you will be able to do great and wondrous things, not only for yourself, but for all of life.
Woo! Love me some Deepak. And the truth of the matter is, and I know we're running out of time in this segment, I guess the truth of the matter is, and one of the reasons why I wanted to bring that forward is that being consciously aware isn't just the goal in of itself, that it leads you to other things that are part of the whole of being consciously aware. So, you know, you gain awareness about things that maybe be painful, and then dealing with that pain brings you some joy and happiness, which brings you gratitude, like, you know, and so it's this thing that keeps growing, and you go deeper and deeper and deeper, and you have more of a peaceful life. And that you can also believe in things like the last segment with Carolyn, in terms of her being a model at 77, where her life is not limited. She doesn't see her life as limited. She sees that I have something to offer bigly, and that I'm going to go out here and do it and be of service to myself and my planet around her. And so, yeah, it's a beautiful reminder to start this journey of being consciously aware. Really quickly, Teresa, what were your thoughts when you saw that?
Well, when you live your life as a spiritual being, having a human experience, you can appreciate what he's saying, meaning that there are only 8 billion bodies on this planet that a spirit can inhabit. There are an infinite, like I can't even put a number to the number of spirits that there exist, but the number of souls, and then the souls can have many spiritual experiences in this omniverse. And to know that here on planet Earth, there are only like 8 billion bodies to come into. But when you know that there's a limited number of experiences on this planet, your soul chose to come here on planet
Right.
Earth instead of like
Right.
who knows where else on Mars and where else it could be exploring.
Right.
And this is such a limited time on this planet in this human body, made of stardust. Is exactly right, that the elements of this body are the same elements that exist in Mother Earth. There's nothing extra about
Right.
that. The spirit
Right.
is the extra that's animating and inhabiting this body. And so when you know that, then you want to maximize your time. You can feel precious that you're here because there are only so many of us here on this planet. But every single day I live my life like that. Like, what is today going to bring and how beautiful this planet is. There is nothing else like planet Earth in this universe. Nothing else.
Nothing else.
Planet Earth is so unique that when you look at other planets, right, as our earlier story, you can appreciate how beautiful Earth is. And that's why us, our souls, choose to have a spiritual experience on this planet because of all the beauty there is here to enjoy. And so I invite people to remember how precious our time is here. I think so many of our stories today have illustrated the preciousness of life here on planet Earth, and to maximize your time here and to enjoy it, and to be aware of the preciousness of it.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. Woo. You dropped the mic on that one.
Thanks, Ryan.
You dropped the mic on that one. In fact, you have a beautiful way of helping people get to a place at which they can not only be aware of it, but appreciative of it, and that is the program that you're using from Over International, which is 6 weeks to mental freedom. Can you tell people a little bit about this?
So mental freedom offers you exactly that, mental freedom in just 6 weeks. So if you are bothered about things from your past, in your relationship, things at work, skeletons in the closet, just day-to-day things that have you feeling anger, frustration, sadness, keeping you stuck. It is really the solution to help you to work through anything that is not allowing you to live from the love, peace, and happiness that you are. We are always that. However, the world pulls us away every single day. And I have to turn to the 6 tools in this program probably every day. And we're not taught these tools. This is what is so important, that in school and in most cases, because people don't know them, we are not given the tools we need to handle everyday situations that are pulling us away from the love, peace, and happiness that we are. And so mental freedom is that solution. It gives you tools that you can immediately turn to and say, okay, how can I see this from a different perspective? It gives you a tool. It gives you all the tenets of that tool. So it says, this is how it works. Here are some examples of how you would apply this tool. And so when something comes up, you think of your toolkit and you think, okay, which of the 6 tools can I apply to help me move through this situation to return to a place of happiness?
Wow. Wow. And I highly recommend people check this out. Go to soulivity.com/Teresa Mental Freedom. That's all one word. That's soulivity.com/Teresa Mental Freedom today. It's being offered at a great discount. So we want to thank Teresa for that discount as well. And thank you, Teresa, for your light and love and this Soulivity gift from the heart to everyone. Great show today. Just a great show. A lot of fun. I think this show had a theme of awareness, being aware and expanding your horizons, and ever through that awareness being a lifelong learner. You know, I know that you're one of those people. I'm one of those people. So we want to give this to everybody today, that this is all about, you know, giving you another great, uh, uh, inspirational and motivational way to create your best life today. So thank you for being a shining example of that, Teresa.
Thank you. Thank you. And I want to just say that I want to offer you, Brian, so much love for you and everything that you do and the stories that you selected for the show this morning to inspire all of us. So much love for you, and to remind people out there that you are loved. If nobody said that to you today, this weekend, last week, I want you to start off this week knowing that you are loved.
Oh man, thank you for that. And I'm gonna take some of that too. I'm gonna take some of that in too. So thank you for that. Oh, that's beautiful. Whew, I love doing Soulivity today with y'all. I always bring the noise and the fun to the show. Listen, just want to say thank you for joining us today. Listen, just want to remind you really quickly to follow us on social media. We're on all the major platforms, from Facebook to Instagram. Just do a search for Soulivity. We'll pop up, you know, on any one of these platforms. You can also check us out on Threads. We've been posting there too, so you can find out information. And you can take us wherever you are with our podcast. We're on all the major podcast providers, from Spotify to Apple to SoundCloud. Wherever you are, you can take us with you. Just download our shows and you can get some inspiration today. Also, I want to remind you to go to soulivity.com, where you can get more inspiration and even find out more information about our campaign to help the 369th Experience Band march at this November's Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. These are some wonderful gentlemen from a lot of the historically Black colleges and universities that are musicians that are marching in this band, honoring the legacy of the Harlem Hellfighters of the 369th Regiment that fought in World War I. So you can go to soulivity.com today and find out more information about that. And if you're led, give or donate or share. We love shares. We love sharing the information out too. So you can do that as well. So on behalf of everybody here at Soulivity, on behalf of Soulivity today, thank you again for joining us. We love you. We are trying to support each and every one of you, you know, have a better life. So keep working that passion and purpose, y'all, because that's the way that you will, you know, surely get to a place at which you're going to create a best life today. We're here to support you in every aspect of that. It's why we bring you shows like this. Just remind everybody, tomorrow's show, we're going to be featuring a new segment, which is Consciously Living with Sheila. So check that out as well. And on behalf of everybody, thanks again for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
This work is subject to copyright owned by Affinity Global LLC. Any reproduction or republication of all or part of this is expressly prohibited unless Affinity Global LLC has explicitly granted its prior written consent. All other rights reserved.